All right, let's try this again. Take two. Let me see if I can finish this video out.
To you and like treating you and your rights, they don't matter, then you're more of a doormat than kind, right? Like, let's be honest.
Don't be a
You're fucking
doormat.
more of a doormat. And so, really, what I want to tell people is just that don't fucking be so kind anymore. Like, it's beyond time that we flip this shit. Like, all these people who are these lefties who want to believe in, science, despite the fact that there's zero science for any of this bullshit. It's all fucking pseudoscience.
Dude, I fucking hate technology so much. I don't know if they're ever going to let me see the rest of this video. Maybe they just, like, deleted the second half. I just left it in the area where I had service. Why are you not playing, stupid fucking phone? Anyways, let me just try to, like... Dude... Like, a stream of consciousness is a powerful thing, and when you fucking get it bursted by fucking haters censoring you, like, it's just, come on, guys. Like, this is not why the internet was invented. We're all trying to, like, evolve and be more spiritual, more blessed, more interconnected, and here we are just fucking, like, look at this. Now my whole phone's going, now Facebook's turning off. It's been, like, this for, like, a couple weeks now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Full disclosure, I'm terrible with, like, going through my phone and getting shit off of it just because it's a full-time job, technology. Like, I cannot wait for the day when I can, like, speak some shit and then have somebody edit my video and just fucking put it online for me. Like, I just, I cannot wait for that day. But, not there yet. So let me just stop bitching and just tell you, like, how I feel like I finished that up. And so what I was trying to say there is, like, being nice to people is awesome. If you can be nice to people and, like, win them over in any way, shape, or form, more power to you. I really haven't had the most success. And, like, actually, now that I think about it, like, just do whatever the fuck you feel. Like, I really have had a lot of success, like, getting people to listen, getting people to see that I'm coming from a compassionate place, that I really, like, it breaks my fucking heart to think of grandparents or parents going to their fucking kid's funeral who committed suicide or overdosed because of these fucking lockdowns and all the stress that it causes people when their fucking entire life gets turned upside down, their job gets taken away, their gym routine gets taken away, their yoga routine gets taken away. Maybe they just try to go out in the fucking grocery store without a fucking mask every once in a while because they don't want to be a part of this sketchy ass agenda. And maybe they get berated and attacked like I've been berated and attacked, I happen to be the type of person where I can take it. I don't really care. Like, I see that negative energy coming at me, and I just try to, like, not always be a doormat. Like, I'll stand up for myself, and I'll fucking, maybe to a fault at times, but whatever. Like, everyone's different, and so do whatever makes you happy. I'm just trying to give people other options. Like, frustration is real, anger is real. It can all come from a place of love, and that's what I try to do is, like, be loving no matter what my sensation is, and sometimes that means comedy, and actually that's, like, what I was really trying to get at is, like, well, actually, let me finish what I was really trying to say there, with the whole, like, t-shirt thing, like, the other video. I'm all over the place right now because, like I said, my stream of consciousness got fucking interrupted, but anyways, so the only time I've been, like, assaulted, which, by the way, it was not like nobody punched me. It wasn't like I got something, like, nothing serious. It was just I was trying to, like, and I was partially guilty myself of, like, how I said in the early part of the video that, like, people get, like, sketchy when the weather gets sketchy. Like, I, full disclosure, I was kind of a little bit in that category. You just, it's hard to judge ourselves the same way that we judge others at times, and I'm just like everyone should, trying to get better at that. But, and also, like, when you're in the right, you give yourself, like, a little bit more leeway compared to people who are in the wrong and being rude, like, defending what's wrong. But anyways, like, so that day when like I said, like, I was having just, like, not good interactions with people, whereas, like, the entire couple weeks prior, people were being super kind and, like, not saying anything to my retorts once I knew my rights, once I met Peggy Hall and I was able to, like, properly state, all of the situations that are going on that is where they're actually in the wrong. They're discriminating on me for practicing my First Amendment rights, yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to get into Marbury versus Madison 1803, although check it out. I'm not going to get into the Civil Rights Act of 1964, although check it out. But anyways, like I was having tons of success, like literally like no issues, just like, I mean, I still haven't worn a mask since I've seen Peggy Hall, just like super epic female. Like I can't encourage anyone more to check her out, healthyamerican.org. But anyways, so I went from like 2 weeks of good weather after that meeting and just having like nothing but success. And then the weather turns and it was weird. For those of you who weren't in the area, it got dark, like dark at 2 p.m. because of the fires. There was like this orange crap in the air, which I'm finding out. I just saw Zach Bush's post, which I didn't agree with all of it. It was like a little, anyways, sidetracking. But he was talking about just like how much more detrimental it is, the chemicals that they put on these fires compared to the fires themselves. And obviously, you know, like there's a balance there, because if it's going to cause more loss of life and if it's going to cause, you know, tons of environmental destruction, then like, you know, maybe the Cal Fire and these people have a reason for doing what they do. You got to assume. And that's part of like what I kind of critiqued him on. And also just like, you know, full disclosure, guys, I was part of the problem in that, like, calling out Trump for talking about raking the forest. And like, I thought of a rake as like what I used all growing up to rake leaves when my mom like would give me like $5 to mow the lawns and rake up and whatever. That was like my first job or second job. 4 years old, I sold pumpkins around the neighborhood. Natural born entrepreneur. But anyways, like I had, you know, basically like a firm understanding of what a rake was. I didn't know there was two types of rakes. And so I actually have been clarifying this ever since Dave Funk, who I friend requested. He didn't friend request me back. I don't think he liked. Basically, he posted about rakes, and he actually, to his credit, like included some photos of rakes, which real rakes, like the Forestry Service rakes that Trump should have included when he, instead of tweeting, he should have Instagrammed that shit. Same knowledge, Instagrammed it with like 10 pictures of rakes, and then we would have all gotten more intelligent and realized that, wow, like he's totally right about this. And what I mean by that is this. Look up rake Forestry Service or type in like rake tractor or whatever. Like you'll find it. Just do that for me. What a rake is in like the Forestry Service sense is a massive fucking tractor, probably like double size of a tractor, possibly too big. Some of the pictures I saw, because, you know, trees, you don't need that much space in between trees. But anyways, I don't want to get sidetracked. What these rakes are for, and I mean, it's a rake. It's just, why English language do you have two fucking words for the same, like, or one word for two completely different things? It's stupid. But anyways, what a rake is when you drive through the forest with this big ass tractor, break down dead logs, break down underbrush that's like gonna die and cause fire damage if and when something drops on there, or arson set this shit. Which, yes, guys, that's fucking what's happening. Like, that's beyond obvious. They keep catching people, and they obviously, like, for every person they catch, it's like cockroaches. You know, you see one, there's obviously millions, right? And so, anyways, I'm not gonna digress too much on that, but like, where was I even going with that? This is like, I'm hungry now. My whole fucking stream of consciousness was fucked up. But anyways, yeah, that's what I was saying. So after these fires, like, I just noticed, like, the next morning, like, people were just different. Like, people were just not having it. They were in a bad mood, probably myself included. And so, like, the first place I went was Safeway, and I got, like, a cold brew and, like, a little, like, what are they called? Kind bars, those chocolate nuts and sea salts, bomb. Anyways, that was my morning start, and they were just, like, rude to me, whereas, like, they're normally, like, amazingly dope at Safeway. And so I was just like, whatever, guys, like, if you're not going to, like, when they cut you off and they don't let you finish your sentence, it's like, come on, guys, like, that's not how people communicate. And so I just was like, all right, whatever, this doesn't happen in 2 weeks. I wasn't trying to have anything to do with it. I just got my shit, went to the self-checkout, and then bought it and bounced. And then, like, an hour later, I was walking, I walked my dog, and then I went to go to a store that I'm going to, like, leave undisclosed, because, like, I actually had, like, a very good conversation with the manager afterwards, whose name is Mitch. Some of you guys might be like, I know that motherfucker. But, which, by the way, is not an insult. Without motherfuckers, none of us would be here. Like, please feel free to call me that whenever you want, even though it's technically not true. I've never done that. but I aspire to be a motherfucker one day. So please call me that. But anyways, again, I digress. So this guy, basically, he's like, I don't know, 6'6", like 260, I would guess. He's a big fucking dude. He would destroy me in a fight if and when that happened. Probably, not guaranteed though. Don't fuck with me, Mitch. I could get you down to the ground in seconds, and then the height's not an issue. And who knows, bro? Don't fuck with me. Like I don't. Anyways, again, I'm sidetracking. But so I'm walking in, and the guy at the door is just like, "Oh, like you need a mask," and I'm just like, "Okay." And I just like I said, I was done talking to people about this. I was just like, I forget what I even wanted. I know what I wanted. I wanted an onion because I was trying to go home and I had a bunch of shrimp. And I was trying to I had this meal in my mind. And so I was like, I just need one fucking onion. These guys are just not letting me even get a fucking onion. And so I walk in and immediately get swarmed by I want to say 7 or 8 employees. One of which is this big ass Mitch dude. And he was the most aggressive. He literally tries to, it was that's why I say it was not really assault. It was he tried to walk through me basically. He put his hands out, you could tell he knew somewhat of legal situation will be at hand if he were to actually push me. And so he puts his hands out and just bumps me with his chest and just walks, tries to walk me to the door. And at which point I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Don't assault me. I'm just fucking trying to grab my groceries. Leave me alone. And so I just I didn't push him back or anything. I just stood my ground, and then he backed up, and then I went to the left around the fruit area, and I went to go grab my onion, and then there's all his minions came, and there was like I said 7 or 8 dudes just fucking piling up on me. And so that happens, right? And then I was just all right, I'm not gonna fucking get my onion. These guys they don't have a self-checkout at this store. Anyways, so I just fucking was whatever, and I was hey, can I talk to you outside? And I was like, who's the manager? And then Mitch, the only dude who fucking ever assaulted me this entire time, which technically is assault, although I'll never tell anybody your last name, I'll never tell anybody where you're at. We had a conversation. You're now somebody I consider to be a lifelong friend. You're woke, you get it, you're trying to keep your job, trying to feed your kids, and I hope that never is not the case. We need more men like you as far as I'm concerned. We just need a little bit more understanding amongst ourselves. But anyways, so basically, the whole epiphany that I've had with this Kate situation, with which I mentioned prior on the earlier video of her thread. Actually, you know what? I'm probably not even gonna post that video. I don't want to do the whole fucking combined. So let me just break that down as well. So the reason why I made this video was because I was feeling excellent after yoga class. People start going I don't know for sure if the owner wants me to be shouting her out on social media, so I'm not gonna do that right now. But what I will say is, hit me up, DM me if you need to go somewhere local in the area and you've been craving yoga like me. Hit me up. Please get that in. It's imperative that we all support businesses that support us and our constitutional rights. But so basically, I was just conversing or trying to converse with Kate on her post, which was a fucking post that I've seen a million times. It's a copy paste type deal. Some liberals post just to virtue signal and get likes and get that dopamine rush, and just oh my god, I'm so epic because I posted something that somebody else wrote and everyone fucking agreed with me because there's a thought bubble that's just lefty and gross. Anyways, I just basically commented with some facts. I talked about a bunch of doctors that are legitimate that I trust. I talked about a bunch of actual statistical data. I shared EU health officials posts, which I've shared on my timeline for those of you who check that. And just basically gave a bunch of legitimate information, because her post was basically trying to say that anyone who's not wearing a mask is an idiot and mean, and I don't remember all of it. It was just triggering. Being that I care about our country, I care about this unconstitutional lockdown, I want it to end, yada yada yada. So I of course saw it and just thought okay, for our community's sake, for your kids' sake, Kate, you're a mother. You need to be open to new information. Your kids are gonna prove you wrong when they get older, and you just need to be receptive to the fact that you're not a fucking know-it-all. And granted, maybe you think that I'm the same way, but I'm fucking not. I'm always open for new information. Send me any factual data, any doctor you trust. I'm happy to review that, tell you why I do or do not trust that person, and give you reasons, legitimate reasons why. But anyways, that's neither here or it's here and there. That's the wrong phrase. But so Kate showed me that, like, okay, being kind. I sent like 7 different messages, none of which she responded to. None of which anyone on her thread who I responded to other people on her thread, like Tara as well. Like, come on, Tara, get it together. Your posts are like condescending, or your responses to people are like condescending, and you're in the wrong. Like, being condescending when you're in the right, yeah, like you gotta kind of understand that a little bit, because like how much do you want people to tippy toe? But when you're in the wrong, and then when somebody calls you out on that and proves you exactly how you're wrong, and then you don't even respond, like, grow up. Grow the fuck up, for real. But anyway, so I basically like commented like probably like 6 or 7 posts, and I actually did meet some cool people. Okay, like like I was saying in the other video, which is that is really neither here nor there because I'm not going to post it now. But is basically that, you know, I cherry picked a few of your friends. I sent a few friend requests to some woke dudes and females on your timeline who, like me, were not getting listened to, or they were getting responded to in a rude, condescending manner. And anyway, so it wasn't all a loss. There was some definitely responses. I had some good conversations with people who were already aware. But like, as far as like breaking anyone out of their lefty bubble, those bubbles are getting thick, guys, like super thick. Like, we're talking like steel plated, titanium plated, fucking cute, like every fucking way, shape, or form you can make a bubble strong, you guys are doing it. And it's crazy. You guys need to really take a look in the mirror and be like, why am I so reluctant to listen to what anyone has to say unless they 100% agree with what I'm saying? And by the way, I said in my other video I need to use a disclaimer again, because like I said, I'm not going to probably post that one after all the shenanigans Facebook's playing and like they censor my video. Maybe I'll post it. Maybe I'll do like a OBS situation one day if I can figure out how to get that off myself. But Facebook might just delete it altogether. Who knows? Zuckerberg just continues to suck. But anyways, so Kate, I fucking got nothing but love for you. I'm only being truthful and honest because I think you have the capacity to change. I have always had good interactions with you. You've always been complimentary, whether we're talking about my yoga poses, my beard situation. Like, you're just a nice person. And so I fucking don't mean anything but like peace and love towards you. And you know, I look forward to seeing you in a yoga studio soon. In a purely friendly way, by the way. I know you're happily married, and more power to you. I hope to be there one day. But anyways, I kind of realized that like I'm not reaching any sort of an audience by just being kind to everybody. Like, that's doormat mode. When people are being rude to you, they're being disrespectful. And granted, you can go about it in a like super kind, super loving way from the get-go, and not have that experience, and that's fine for lots of people. Maybe you don't have like the energy to really be combative or like argue with anybody or drop facts, or maybe you don't know everything like off the top, like where you can't talk about Cox postulates and the fact that no one's isolated this virus, and everyone's different. So like, take your approach, take little bits of my knowledge, whatever works for you, and try to make it work for you in the you know, however way you would like to do that. But what I've been noticing is that when I really think back to the Mitch situation, when I really think back to other people that I've really connected with, it's not just being kind that really gets to most people. Because most people don't respond to doormats. Like, occasionally, you know, and if you watch some of my other videos about being kind, like I do talk about a couple instances. One that was actually like really funny, where this couple was walking with 100% human masks on. Check out my previous videos and maybe you'll see that, but I'm not going to get into it. But I've just been noticing that like it's a very slow process winning people over. And then after this yoga class, I was just like super high energy, and just on the drive home, like literally I saw a couple bikers wearing masks biking. One was like a mother-daughter on like a bicycle / like motorcycle type deal, but there was like actually a seat in the back. It was a trip, but the mother was wearing the face mask and it was below her nose, and the daughter was wearing it like fully up over her nose. And so I just decided to like use a little bit of humor and just give them a little bit of trolling that like, oh my God, when I did cuck, the couple times that I cucked, like before I quit smoking weed, occasionally I'd be like, okay, I want to go to the club. And the closest club to my house just happened to be like amazingly epic, But there was this one fucking little beta male, this one annoying ass little dude who not only wanted you to wear a mask, but also if it slipped a little bit below your nose, he would go. And like, I could be having the best day ever. Like, the best day ever. Like, I'm not going to get into what that is. Might be TMI for some of you, but like, I could be having the most epic day, the most epic week, the most epic year. And if you do this to me when I'm fucking already cucking to your orders, like, everything inside me just like blood cells are bursting all over the place, apoptosis, I'm losing my shit. And I won't express that, but like, that was the last time I went into that spot. I just fucking took my mask off, I dropped it, and he's like, "You're never allowed in here again." It's like, oh my God, bro. Like, yeah, for both of our safety, for the fact that I don't want a criminal record. I'm like, I didn't say this, but I was thinking it. I'll never be back here again because like, I don't want to hurt you, bro. You have already obviously been hurt by society enough to get you to this place that I'm not going to even do that. But anyway, so like, I know from that experience how triggering it is when somebody like does this to you. So I was like, I'm just about to use this on this chick because she's obviously like probably making her little daughter who was like 12 behind her wear it. Because like, are there really 12-year-olds out there who want to do this? Please tell me no. Please tell me there's like 2 of y'all and you guys are like lepers and nobody wants to talk to you. Like, it's got to be like a shame thing. Your parents are probably making you. You're whatever. You're just too scared to go against the grain, whatever. But I don't think any kid wants to do this. And so, anyways, I was like, this is a perfect situation. They're next to me at a red light, right? And so I just was like, and then the mom's like, she like, you could tell the mom was like totally on board with this. Like she was just like, she's like, oh well, like I'm biking and like and I didn't even hear everything that she had to say. I just noticed that her daughter started to like bust up, and so I was just like trolling her. Like, it was a pretty long red light, and I was just like, well, you know, I mean, it's just really irresponsible with your daughter right there. Like, it's just dangerous, don't you think? And then again, the daughter's like busting up, right? And then we continue down the street, and then it actually happens again where like I get stopped at a really long red light, and then they pull up on their bike. And then like we kind of have another exchange, and at this point the daughter like took off her mask and she was like doing this with it, like fucking twirling it around, and like she knew I was like totally trolling, and she was just like joining in on it or whatever, and then the mom like kind of like looks over at me, like you could tell she was like her feelings were like maybe hurt that I called her out. And I was like, I'm just kidding. Like, this is shit. This shit's not even real, you know. Like, just y'all have a good day, you know. And then they actually took off first because I was waiting in the left-hand turn lane at that point, and my light hadn't turned yet. And so they go off, and the girl's like doing this all the way down the street, and I was just like, yes. And then I was at the next red light because I actually drove pretty far to get a fucking burrito. Because I'm picky, and anyways, and so I'm driving along, and I just was like, and this one like wasn't a success story, but I'm gonna start using this one like crazy. Like, I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but like, you guys have heard, right, that like dogs have tested positive for this fucking like make believe agenda, and basically dogs and cats like. Find those people and put them in a mental health facility and never let them out. Anyone who would test their dog or cat for that shit, it's like, with the exception of like maybe if they were having like some legitimate issues and you took them to the vet and the vet just like suggested it. But if you are out there and you took a healthy cat or healthy dog just to get them tested, like, never come out in public again. And I'm not trying to be mean, just like for the sake of yourself and everyone else. It's just the real world's not safe for you. And so, anyways, like, we've all heard those news stories, though. For whatever reason, maybe they're make-believe, maybe they just made some people up and made some dogs up. But there's actually people out there. I've seen a couple fucking dogs in masks. And so, like, and I don't condone that. In fact, like, if I see that, I call it out. But I'm trying to do the reverse now, right? And so, I want you guys to join in on that with me. Like, if you're walking along and you see a lady or a man or a couple or anybody wearing masks, but then their pet isn't, just be like, I can't believe you would do that. Like, just so irresponsible. You know, dogs can get coronavirus, right? Do you not care about your dog? And just like give them a little bit of like false outrage. And then once they react, like, oh, like, like they're like deer caught in the blinders. Cause like, if it makes sense for fucking us to be wearing that bullshit, then why does it not make sense that your dog or cat's wearing that as they're like going around sniffing everything, like licking other dogs, like piss and like whatever dogs do, like checking the pee mail, you know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. There's no logic to like you doing it, but not them. And so just start using that. It's going to be epic. Like, I basically, like, lady walks up and she had 2 dogs and she was wearing a mask. And I was just like, can you put a mask on those mutts? And she was just like taken aback and shocked. And then I was just like, come on, like, it's so irresponsible. Like, what do you want to happen to those things? And anyways, like I said, like, there wasn't a long enough interaction to really play it out, but it's something that I'm going to play with on my dog walks now, because I take my dog on a long walk every day and I pass all sorts of dogs. So I'm going to start using that one like crazy and just try to start conversations with like a little bit of false outrage, turn it into humor, and then turn that into like a legitimate conversation possibly. Because my dog's getting older, or she's just lazy, because I got the number of car collisions. I got hit by a bunch of R to the E-tards, and I'm going to have to start doing some S-hit like that if I'm really going to get censored on all these platforms for just speaking my mind. But anyways, this might be a BitChute only video. Basically, and now I'm losing my train of thought, just like with getting censored. This is why censorship is so terrible. And censorship of protest is also so terrible. And that's the other thing. Like, let me just stop that train of thought and just start over with, like, legitimately, guys, if you have the energy, the thing that we all need to be talking about is, like, the facts of life are that this happens. You have a life, you live that life, your energy starts to fade, you start to get more and more unhealthy, and you die. And there's nothing wrong with that. Supposing you live a long, healthy life, that's actually something to be celebrated. Like, if you have a grandparent out there who was like 78 and died from coronavirus, congratulations. That's fucking epic. I hope I make it to 78. I hope you make it to 78. I hope we all make it to 78. Like, that's the life expectancy in our country, or past it. I think it's 76 last I checked. Unless we're talking about medical doctors, which is like somewhere in their 60s. Because guilt kills, and so does Big Pharma boot camp's advice. But anyways, I just have too much to say, and I'm fucking like getting hungry now. But so basically, what we need to really be talking about is, like, it's not really heartbreaking when somebody gets old, doesn't take care of their immunity, and then dies because of a common cold or a virus. Like, that's facts of life, guys. And, like, granted, I'm more numb to that than the average person because I worked on lift team my first 5 years at Kaiser, and part of the job description is if somebody dies, we were called to put them into a body bag, their cold, dead body. Like, the first time it ever happened to me was my first day on the job. Such a trip. I had helped the guy earlier. He was like a vegetable, so the second time I helped him, the only thing I noticed is that there wasn't tubes in him, and then I touched his body and it was cold, and I was like, whoa. And I actually asked the nurse, my naive dumbass, and she's like, yeah, he's dead. And I was like, oh, okay. And so we had to go and get a body bag and come back. And anyways, we rolled him up, zipped him up, took him down, gave him to the morgue, and that happened hundreds of times while I was working at Kaiser. And like I said, it's not that sad if it's somebody who lived their life and then died of natural causes. Granted, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in allopathic medicine that's not natural, and there was probably sad situations where they got to that place that, that's neither here nor there. I'm just talking about, like, the facts of life are such that if you don't take care of your immunity, if you don't have a thriving, loving, healthy family, community, whatever it is that you believe sustains natural health, holistic health like I do, then if that goes away, then suffering increases. At some point, the suffering peaks and you die. And, you can blame a virus, you can blame a cold, you can blame somebody sneezing on you, you can blame somebody scaring you. Old, unhealthy people die. And that's just a fact of life. I think it's kindness from our loving creator who doesn't want people to stay in prolonged suffering for extended periods. But again, I'm hungry and I don't want to go too much into that. I'm going to actually get into some of some of the most sad stories of allopathic medicine were the prolonged suffering that like were unhealthy, or young people who were healthy, who like terrible shit happened to them. And then, anyways, that's another video I'm going to do on just like privilege and how much we need to stop talking about privilege associated with skin color or anything else other than health and economic success of your family or community or whatever it is that supports you in your way of life. But note to self, I need to make that video. But anyways, so basically, all right, so back to the Mitch story, right? So me and Mitch go outside and we have a conversation. It started out real confrontational, and then we actually like had a little bit of headway. At first he was like, "You're trespassing, like leave. I told you to leave, like you're trespassing. I'm gonna call the cops." And I said what I always say, like, "Awesome, dude, call backup, bro. I love the cops. Like I'd love to meet, the more the merrier, you know?" And so he doesn't call cops. Like most people, once you say that, they're just like, "Oh, I'm not gonna like make this guy's day." And so basically he just like started like leveling with me. And, you know, told me like that he didn't agree with this whole agenda either, but like he had to work, and told me about his kids. And then at one point he got back to being confrontational again. He was just like done with it, because I just, of course, like I have a lot to say about all this, and so I was not gonna like not say that stuff. And then at one point when I mentioned our constitutional rights being violated, he's like, "The Constitution was written by..." And Mitch, like, I love you, but like, you need to not say stuff like this, bro. Like, the Constitution was written by slave owners, man. And I was like, okay. And I was like, and everyone had slaves at that time. It's not right, but like, Thomas Jefferson's epic. A lot of our founding fathers were epic, and we got the best Constitution in the world, as far as I know. And we don't practice slavery anymore. We, in fact, like, we're part of what ended it, so far as I know. And he's like, "Yeah, we still have slavery in this country." And that was when I was just kind of like over it, because I wasn't trying to like get more confrontational. I hadn't had like a legit breakfast. All I had was like that little bar I told you guys about. And so I was just like, "All right, dude, whatever. You're fucking proof of that, man. You're a fucking mind slave." And I just like, I think I probably told me I had like the lefty mind virus or something like that. Something super sweet and nice. And I just walked off and took my dog on a even longer walk, because she was out there with me. And then actually found a super dope spot, which I'm going to go to more. I can't even remember the name of it. Some spot downtown where you can just go up, sit outside at a table, and then they come up and serve you. No conversation about muzzles, nothing. Just like great, delicious breakfast. Wild caught shrimp, like epic. I wish I could drop the name. I forget. But anyways, so I get a good, healthy meal in me. I actually had an amazing conversation with these two dudes at the table next to me. One of which works at the Mission Ranch in Carmel, who had just gotten a beach citation. A beach citation, guys. Like, that's where we're at. Cops are giving citations for going to the beach. Anyways, I'm never going to eat. Like, this is unreal. But so I basically meet this dude. He works at the Mission Ranch in Carmel, which, like, I got to say, Clint Eastwood owns, guys. Go out there, talk to that Republican MF, and just be like, "Bro, why are you wearing masks? Why aren't you on our side? You're 89, dude. You've had an epic life. Like, take a stand. What, like, do your kids really need that much money? Do they need to inherit, like, 3 restaurants and 10 houses or whatever it is you got, bro? Like, you probably make so much money off royalties. You could pay off whatever citation you do get, if and when it holds up in court, and it probably won't." And case in point, I actually talked to these two dudes, and they were like 100% on board. You could tell, like, when they are at work, obviously wear the mask. One of them was like wearing a mask when he would go to the bathroom and stuff. But like, they were like completely just like going along to get along, and like didn't believe in any of it. So we had like a really dope long conversation, and come to find out that dude who got the beach citation was like the first person with the beach citation that I met. But I've met a couple other people who've gotten trespassing violations. And none of this stuff holds up in court, guys. Everyone's told me the same story, from Santa Cruz County at least, where they go to court, they have to like maybe get the day off work, which is a bummer, but the judge just kind of scratches their head and like dismisses them and thanks them for showing up, you know, because like there's no laws to break, guys. This is all just like, you know, law enforcement officers unfortunately aren't trained enough, and they don't know the law that they're supposed to enforce. They're enforcing rules which are superseded by laws, as evidenced by Marbury vs. Madison, 1803, which, like I said, I don't want to go into fully, but look it up. You guys can spell Marbury, Marbury. If you can't spell Madison, you got problems. 1803. Those three things. Type it in, you'll find it. It clearly states that and here I'm getting into it. It clearly states that the Constitution supersedes any and all laws that conflict, any and all lower laws, lower ordinances, lower rules that conflict with it. So that's exactly what we're doing now. And so, anyways, I had this amazing breakfast, had this amazing meal, amazing conversations, meet some new friends. I'm going to be going to maybe Mission Ranch tomorrow, actually. Clint Eastwood. I know there's no chance in hell that you would be watching my stream, but, it's nice to dream. Maybe one day. Maybe you'll check it out after you meet me. And I let you know that I'm not muzzling up in your in your establishment. But anyways, what was I? Oh yeah, so I had this epic meal, and you guys know how it is. Like when you're hungry, when it's morning time. That's actually like I know from having dogs, the time when your testosterone and your energy and everything like that is like the most like unstable is in the morning, especially in the morning before you eat like solid meal. So I eat the meal, and I'm just kind of contemplating it. I'm thinking about all the good parts of Mitch. I'm thinking about how, he's a good dad. He's just trying to protect his job. He's just trying to protect his lefty, like, arts of the etard coworkers. And, I started to, like, digest the food, and with it, some compassion, some empathy. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try to go and talk to Mitch and just be like, hey, man, I'm just going to show up, talk to the same guy who I, like, previously, like, just said, okay, I need a mask, and just kept walking. And then I thought that I was going to have to ask that guy for Mitch, but it just so happened I come back trying to, like, make amends and just basically, like, not apologize for going into the store, because that was within my rights as an American citizen. I have the right to protest. I have the right to my First Amendment. Like, both sides, by the way, are agreeing with, guys. If you guys aren't watching, Trump basically, like, trolling the left and just kind of, like, calling any non-social distancing mask wearers at his rallies peaceful protesters, which, he has every right to do after the left says that the BLM rallies, the Antifa people, they can, like, get thousands of people in the streets and, like, hug and make out and get weird and do whatever it is they're doing, burn down buildings, do all sorts of stuff, and that's fine because it's a protest and it's totally okay. So anyways, I wasn't apologizing, and I will never apologize for exercising my rights, but I did feel bad that I called him a mind slave. I did feel bad for, like, very, very, very small aspects of our conversation, and so I was just like, I'm just going to be the bigger person, just try to start this dialogue, just be like, hey, man, like, I just want to let you know, like, and just kind of more calm now, food in my stomach, just be like, dude, like, I got nothing but love for you and anyone who's just trying to feed their family. I don't mean to take anything out on the working class. That's not why I came here. I just, I'm doing everything I can. I'm going to city council meetings when I can, which, by the way, like, they're all Zoom meetings now, which, like, that's not a real meeting. Like, that's disgusting that anyone would even consider that a real meeting. We need to bring back the real city council meetings. But anyways, I was, like, doing everything I could, and, like, we actually have served Gail Newell, the county health officer, and by we, I mean, like, I kind of was just there the day they did it. It was more some other legendary folks who, like, are very freedom-oriented advocates and just, like, all about protecting our rights and just epic people. I think Tim Welch might be his name, David Rodriguez, to name a few. Another one, Craig. He's actually the one I know best, and I'm blanking on his last name. Craig Lane, epic. Anyways, we're doing everything we can to, like, actually make changes. But then you want shit to happen quicker because, like, literally people are killing themselves at unprecedented rates. I'm not going to get into my personal, like, situations. Like, I really do need to eat at this point. But, like, I know 2 people, one of which died from suicide, one of which who died from overdose since this shit's happened. And, like, it's just not okay. It's not okay at all. And so, like, I really am, like, coming from a place of compassion. Like, I want this stuff to end. Not for me, not because, like, I think my face is so gorgeous and I want to show it to people, but because, like, it's not right what's happening to our people, and we need to take a stand. Like, our working class matters. The working class globally matters. Science matters. The Constitution matters. Like, yada, yada, yada. And so I basically went back there, just, like, level with them. I was like, bro, like, I'm sorry for calling you a mind slave. That was uncalled for. I just want to let you know that, like, I am not doing this because I want to, like, make your guys' life harder. I just, like, really want to see things change. and I'm doing, like I said, told what I just told you guys, like about how I'm trying to do the other steps as well, and like go to the people who are really causing this. But at some point, if that doesn't work, we also just need to like stand in solidarity. And I told him like, just like my only suggestion to you is like, don't chest bump or do anything assault oriented to somebody else, because like really, if I wanted to be a dick, I could go and like call up corporate of his company, get those tapes, and file a lawsuit, and like I might get a ticket a day in court for trespassing, which would probably get dismissed, and he would most assuredly get fired, because like, you can't assault people no matter what's going on if they're peacefully just walking into your store. And so I just told him like, bro, like, you know, you put your job in my hands right there, and like I'm not somebody who will ever file a lawsuit against you. You're in the working class. You seem like a good dad. I want nothing but the best for you. But at the same time, you got to understand that like not everyone's as cool as I am about this stuff. You might chest bump a dude who's got a fucking, you know, weapon in his back pocket, and he was about to like either kill somebody or kill himself, you know, like you don't know. Like, so on that level, and you might just meet somebody who doesn't live from around here, who's just trying to like get lawsuits, and maybe there's some monetary gains for them if they can like get assaulted and then get you in trouble. And so I was just like, dude, like just for your sake and everyone's sake, like just don't do that, man. And like also just like, given the fact that I go all around town, and 90% of the time, even before I met Peggy and knew my rights, like most places are not aggressive about telling you what to do. They might tell you to put on a muzzle, like whatever. There's minor conflicts, but like I'm like, bro, you're an outlier. And so like you might want to look into like what you're actually going to get fired over and what's a slap on the wrist, because so far as I understand it, you have to do your job in that you have to like tell me maybe like, hey, masks or get out. Maybe if that's what your boss says, granted, you probably have to say that. But I would never imagine that there's any job description on the face of the planet that calls for you to start assaulting people or to start forcibly removing them just because they're not listening exactly to what you're saying. And so, anyways, I'm going to end it there. I'm starving. I'm super starving. And see how I'm censoring myself. Like, I like swear words. They're adult signs of intelligence, signs that you don't like live in a closed-in little box where you're scared about what everyone will think. I will be honest that ever since I found out, you guys probably don't know what F-U-C-K even means. I use it all the time and I'm not going to stop, but we need to redefine it, guys, because it's an epic word. It's a fucking epic word. Like I said, I'm okay with this maybe being BitChute only. I need to stop censoring myself and stop thinking like that. But F-U-C-K stands for fornication under consent of the king. And it's not talking about this king, right? Or maybe actually that's just how we have to redefine it. But then females are probably going to not like that because it should be F-U-C-Q, fornicating in the consent of the queen. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm getting hungry and I need to stop talking. But I hope you guys all have a blessed day, blessed weekend. I'm just going to post this onto wherever I can post it, and if YouTube wants to take it down because I said a few naughty words. Although, like, YouTube is probably going to be cool with it because maybe not because I said, like, the whole C virus word, which that is something that I don't know how cool YouTube is with. Or I know, like, anyways, I don't think I said anything that, like, well, anyways. So I'm going to post it wherever I can. If it doesn't stay up, it doesn't stay up. But the places that I think it will stay up is BitChute and Brighteon. And for those of you who know about Brighteon, it looks like I have 50 videos, and then I guess I maybe need to start paying. So, although like it might be worth it because Brighteon is the most epic so far. Like their videos like upload in like seconds compared to the like sometimes 30 minutes for YouTube or BitChute, or longer really. But anyways, I'm going to post it on a few different channels. If you check me out on BitChute and subscribe, like I said, like you'll be my first subscriber and I will never forget you. I'll never forget you. First 10 subscribers, I'll never forget you. And when I make my America-based t-shirts, which yes, they're coming, I might have to just send you guys out some complimentary ones for just being epic and getting me started on that platform. I think I have like, I don't know, not even 100 yet. I think I have like 80 or 90 followers on YouTube. And anyways, I'm definitely digressing and hungry as fuck, so I'm going to stop this. I actually want to do another video, a Dear Dad 2 video. For those of you guys who saw my Dear Dad 1, I realized I left a couple things out, and I wanted to clarify that for my dad and for anyone else who wants to watch it and kind of get some knowledge about the whole medical industrial complex and cancer and allopathic medicine and holistic medicine and different things of that nature. I have some notes that I have written down that I'm going to go through after I'm done eating, though. And yeah, so y'all have a blessed day. And the only other thing that I feel like was in the other video that I want to include is I saw Manish Chandra on my drive before Facebook censored my live stream and gave me a warning, which so cucked. But I saw Manish Chandra. Check him out. Ayurvedic practitioner. He's epic. And also out in public, pro-face. God bless you, Manish. Keep doing what you do. And the rest of you also keep doing what you do, whatever that is. Be open to other people's suggestions. Don't be a liberal or a liberal. I hate when I say that without the quotations because liberals are no longer liberals. And often conservatives are no longer conservatives. They're cuck-servatives. I'm a centrist. I'm trying to hope that at one point we have both legitimate parties again. But anyways, I continue to digress. Like, unreal. But y'all have a blessed week. I love y'all.